Okay. Episode 211. It is my good fortune to bring Chris Kowalik onto the program. She's a federal benefits specialist and the founder of ProFeds. So her bio is she's the founder of ProFeds and a federal retirement expert and frequent speaker to federal employee groups nationwide. In her highly acclaimed Federal Retirement Impact Workshops and the FedImpact podcasts, she and her team empower employees to make confident decisions as they plan for the days when they no longer have to work. With nearly 2 decades of experience in the financial services industry, Chris has been a frequent contributor to national publications such as My Federal Retirement, Forbes, Entrepreneur, and Investopedia. Chris is a former active duty U.S. Marine and served as an Arabic linguist and signals intelligence analyst prior to starting ProFeds. Chris Kowalik, welcome to Sound Retirement Radio.
Jason, thanks so much. What a nice thing for Amelia to find funny jokes for you.
She is good. She's such a great person to have around here. But that joke it took me a second to figure it out. A blueberry, a sad berry is a sad strawberry. Anyways, Chris, this is going to be a good show. Thank you for your expertise in this area of federal employees' benefits. And what I wanted to do today, if it's okay with you, is just really start to dig into some of these benefits that are specific to people that are FERS employees that are wanting to retire. But before I do, I just want to ask you, why are you so passionate about this?
You know, I see the challenges that federal employees have in navigating all of these benefits, and I just don't think planning for retirement should have to be this hard. And so with all of these benefits, which with their natural complexity, it oftentimes causes people to freeze and not take action. And so I started ProFeds to try to help empower federal employees to feel confident about the decisions that they're making. And I absolutely love what I do. I hope your listeners are ready because I could talk about federal benefits all day long. So let's get started.
Oh, I've been in some of those training sessions with you where you have talked about federal benefits all day long. And you are excited about it. You're passionate about it. And at the end of the day, you're going as strong as you are at the beginning. But so let's start with a unique opportunity that federal employees have, some federal employees have, which is the Special Retirement Supplement. Tell our listeners what that is and how it works. And can they be confident that it's still going to be there for them in 6 months or a year?
Definitely. So the Special Retirement Supplement is a program that's unique for our FERS employees. So these are newer federal workers hired 1984 or later. So when we think of the retirement system that they have and that Congress put in place for these employees when they switched from the old system to the new system, it was basically a pension, Social Security, and the thrift savings plan. But federal employees have the capacity to retire prior to the age of 62 when they're eligible for Social Security. And so during that time, say from 56 when they retire up until 62, there was no Social Security paid. And so the Special Retirement Supplement was a program designed to bridge the gap when an employee retires prior to age 62, I'll say most employees, when they retire prior to age 62 up until the time they turn 62 when Social Security can begin. Now, this program mimics Social Security in a lot of ways. In fact, it's based on the age 62 Social Security benefit number. And so there'll be a formula to determine what percentage of that age 62 Social Security benefit should be paid prior to attaining that age from this special program.
Okay.
But you make a really good point, and that is that employees are often wondering, like, is this program going to stick around? And, it's been in effect for a long time, but it always seems to be on the chopping block for Congress to take away. So I think employees are smart to hope that it's there, but plan for it not to be there, just in case Congress decides to stroke that congressional pen and make a sweeping change to a program like this.
Good point. Yeah, we always like to say hope for the best, plan for the worst. What about the simple formula? Do you have any way of estimating how much people might be able to collect through the special retirement supplement?
Yeah, so the formula to calculate this would be taking an employee's number of FERS years that they've had, not including military time or anything like that, but just regular FERS years divided by 40. And that will tell an employee about what percentage of the Social Security benefit number that's estimated for age 62 that they'll actually receive in the form of the special retirement supplement prior to that age.
All right, great. And we should let our listeners know, one of the reasons that we have an emphasis on helping federal employees with retirement, we help people from all walks of life, but specifically here in our community, where my office is in Silverdale, we have the shipyard, we have Bangor, we have which is the sub base. We have a lot of people that choose to retire, retired military that retire here to this area. So we just have such a huge demographic of people that are retiring from the federal government. And so we wanted to be able to bring them first-class education, all-day workshops so that they could really make educated decisions about the best way to plan for their retirement. And so I'm really excited to be able to let our listeners know that we have an upcoming, it's called the FedImpact Workshop, happening right here in Silverdale. You can learn more about the workshop if this is something that you think you would be interested in attending. And boy, I'll tell you, the last time we did one of these, we had people drive from 3 hours away. There is limited seating for these, so we can the capacity of our room, we can only have about 40 people there comfortably. But if you want to sign up, if you want to learn more about it, of course, we'll have a link at soundretirementplanning.com, or you can go directly to the registration page, which is fedimpact.com/JRP. JRP, like Jason Randall Parker. Okay, Chris, so the special retirement supplement's pretty cool, pretty neat opportunity for people. At this point, it looks like it's still going to be there for people that are retiring early. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I wanted to talk to you specifically because we had the good fortune to meet with a federal employee. She was under the impression that she was not going to be able to buy back time and after we went through an analysis, we found that she would be able to potentially buy back that time. So talk to our listeners about this opportunity that exists and how the law changed back in 2009, 2010 to allow people to buy back time. What do we mean by that when we use that phrase, buy back time?
Yeah, so when we're thinking of buying back time, that means there was a period of federal service that an employee was working but was not contributing to the retirement system. And so buying it back essentially says, had I been contributing all those years ago into, say, FERS, what would I have contributed plus all the interest on that? And that's the buyback or the, quote, deposit. That's the official name for it. And so in this case that we reviewed together, it was a scenario where someone had some bad information. They had misinformation that at one time was true, but is now no longer true. Mm. And that's because with the National Defense Authorization Act of 2010, that was signed in 2009, went into effect in 2010, it had sweeping changes specifically to the FERS retirement system. So this is when FERS employees were now eligible to use their sick leave towards their retirement pension. That was part of that change. And another one of the changes was the one that you just mentioned, was the ability for FERS employees to buy back a certain a segment of any temporary time that happened prior to January 1st of 1989. So if it happened after that, FERS employees can't make a deposit for temporary time that they had. But prior to that, which was the case of your client, that gives her an opportunity to do two really important things. The first is those years count for eligibility purposes, so she might be able to retire sooner than she originally thought. The second thing is by adding additional years into her pension calculation, of course, that's going to go up, and it goes up significantly the more years that you have.